Hey everybody, welcome back. What's going on? Jordan here. Today we're going to be talking about goals. That's goals that we have for the Lego YouTube channel known as Bricksie. The one that I operate. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about short, mid, and long-term goals that we have for the Lego collection, the Lego room, the Lego city, the Lego channel, just sort of everything that we have planned for the Bricksie YouTube channel, and they stretch as far as probably 10 or even 15 years. So we're going to start with short-term goals that we have for this Lego room right now. Let me tell you, your goal should be to make one of these. Gobble, 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 gobble. Don't ask me why I made a chicken noise. So I'm filming this video before we've placed the modular building, but we're going to be doing that right away. That's the 2022 Boutique Hotel modular building, so we got to place that in the downtown core. Hopefully the LEGO group issues a new LEGO Creator Expert ride, and then we're going to have to somehow get it into the amusement park here. So that's a goal for the LEGO group, is to give us one of those, and then we've got to try and figure out how to integrate it in here. One thing that we need to work on is actually our custom graffiti, and that's the little dots art that goes around the train track here. So I've got to get that done, both in the amusement park and also in the Lego city. Speaking of train track, I need to finish ballasting all of my train track right here. You can see I need to order probably about 1,000 1x1 black tiles to get that done. And then we need to finish ballasting all of the different lines here in the Lego city as well. So yeah, we're going to start with goals for our Lego room and our Lego city as it currently sits. And then we're going to talk about future expansion plans potentially. One thing that we need to do is actually build our arcade. So that's a short-term goal. And we need to continue working on our downtown core by placing that modular building there. And we also need to work on this row of base plates right here. So we're going to do like a whole bunch of sort of little townhouses. That's our 16 by 16 studs. And they're going to run along this back plate here, which is just across from Pop Culture Street. So that's some goals that we have. Also, I would love to add some details to the hospital. I don't know why I haven't done that. I just haven't done it. It just looks fine the way it is. I never go in there, but it would be nice to add some details to the hospital. Here in the residential area, we have 1.5 base plates open right there between the haunted house and also Fort Privet Drive. So I'd like to fill that up relatively soon. And then over here we have the farm, of course, which we're still working on as well. I want to make a farmhouse and also a barn, and then a bunch of different crops as well, and also livestock. So that's something we need to do. And same with the zoo. So this will be happening here over the next 12 months, all of these things that we're talking about in the Lego city. And the zoo is definitely one that's going to be happening pretty quickly here. Probably within the next 4 months or so, we're going to start working on the zoo. We've already acquired all of our animals, and I've started acquiring some of the parts and pieces to work on the zoo. Now I need to add some more detail to the beach. Even though we recently worked on this area, I still think we need a little bit more detail here. And we added some nice water detail, which looks absolutely fantastic. But as you can see, there's a lot of open space here. I'd like to add maybe a sandcastle tournament. I think that would be a lot of fun if we added just a whole bunch of different custom sandcastles. I think that would be a lot of fun and just look absolutely amazing. I need to add some lights under here. That would be good. And I still need to, just spotted it now, I still need to customize those light letters and get that mounted somewhere in the Lego room as well. So I've got to get that done. Also, we need to customize all of our water here. So I want to make all of this stuff the nice textured water just like it is here. It just looks so much better. It adds some nice depth and some detail, and that needs to happen in all of the different water areas here in the Lego city. Speaking of water areas, I need to work on the Ninjago cliff edge and also the Ninjago area. So that all needs to be done as well. So we've got quite a bit of stuff going on here in the Lego city, and it's going to be really nice to get all of that stuff done, including more details as well, such as the sidewalks all need to be tiled throughout the entire city, and we need to just work on some more detail stuff. But big projects are definitely like the zoo, filling this base plate here in the residential, filling all these base plates over here in the downtown core, and then just sort of cleaning up everything like the train track, ballasting that and getting that all done. And then we also need to work on our medieval scene, which is right here underneath the Lego city. So we've got 2 castles down there with some trains and stuff. It is lit up. We've got lights and stuff like that. But I just need to acquire the merps and stuff like that to build the waterfall and build our cliff edge that's going to go all the way along the backside here to try and blend that in amongst the sea of table legs. And then, of course, as the LEGO group issues more stuff, we're going to continue acquiring more sets and filling our shelves here. So we need to expand our shelves by getting more of the bulkhead shelves. Actually, we don't need to get any more. We already have them, but we need to install them in all the different bulkheads here and fill up these bulkheads here and above the Bricksie wall there. And then eventually we'd like to get some more art sets as well as the LEGO group issues more of those and get these walls all filled up. So as you can see, we've got some nice short-term goals here. That'll probably be happening over the next year or two, and we're going to be getting all of this stuff all completed in the LEGO room. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff that I missed out on as well, such as sorting all of our parts. Under here we have all of our unsorted parts, and we need to get all of that stuff sorted. There are a lot of bins underneath those platforms, and of course we would love to get those all sorted and integrated into our stock right over here. So that's sort of our short-term goals here in the LEGO room. Of course, most of it has to do with the LEGO City, and we can expect to see that stuff get done over the next 16 months or so. Now, I would also like to grow as a builder. I would like to start doing some more custom stuff, whether it be custom buildings, custom trains, anything custom for the LEGO City. So in that short-term goals to mid-term goals, I would really like to increase my skills as a builder, become more educated on how to use different parts, and just sort of become more creative with custom stuff. Although I love LEGO sets, I would love to learn how to build more custom stuff. Although I'm always going to collect LEGO sets. I think they're fantastic and they're amazing, and we're going to continue to, you know, figure out new ways to create more space in this room and have more fun with LEGO. Honestly, that's just the most important thing for me, is just to have fun and have the passion for the LEGO City and the LEGO room, and just make sure that I'm passionate about it and just continue having fun and doing it with a smile on my face. I don't want it to, I mean, it already does feel like work to me. I won't lie to you. It does feel like work, of course, because this is what we do all day, every day, so it is work, but I just want to make sure that we remain positive about it, that the passion is still there, and that we can still feel comfortable in our own skin as we continue doing all of these projects and having fun with it. So that's very important to me, as in all of the goals here, in short, mid, and long, is just to make sure that we still have that passion and that drive, and that we're still happy in doing what we're doing. So that's all the goals here for the LEGO room here, of course. You know, we want to fully develop this LEGO room. We want everything to look pretty sweet. We want the stuff underneath the table to look amazing with the different scenes. We want the LEGO City to look the best it's ever looked. And, you know, we just want to grow as builders and do some custom stuff and make sure we have a lot of fun while we do it. Now, I would say that sort of covers midterm goals as well. You know, like 3-4 years. We're sort of stuck in this basement. There's not much that we can do outside of this basement. I refuse to bring the LEGO upstairs. We're not going to be doing that. That's crazy. But yeah, what could we expect for long-term goals? So we're always looking at new ways to expand, and we don't know what the future holds, right? So we're always thinking and trying to think outside the box of what we can actually do in the future. That's, you know, 5-10 years from now. So we bought this house in 2020, and it was in August. So we're going to be re-signing the mortgage in August of 2025. We got a 5-year mortgage on the place. So I guess got to see what the bank is going to allow us to do in 5 years, because it's obvious that we're going to run out of space. So we've looked into commercial property being like a warehouse, and we thought maybe we could buy a warehouse. And I talked to the bank manager who helped me with this house here, and he said that, you know, it's really hard. A commercial property is a lot different than residential property. It's commercially zoned. There's a lot more hidden fees, and in order to get qualified, your company needs to have 4 times, no, I think it was 3 times, maybe 3 times the amount of assets compared to the mortgage value. So what that means is, if the mortgage is $300,000, then you're going to need $900,000, almost $1 million in assets. And it's like, well, I don't foresee Bricksie having $1 million in assets. It's got to pay me. It's got to it's got to buy Lego. It's got a lot of expenses, and it's got to keep us happy, and it's got to also, it's got to fund these projects for putting MERPs and stuff, and building mocks and all that different stuff, and buying different Lego sets and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, that I immediately was like, okay, well, that's never gonna happen. Like, how could I have 3 times? Like, how could Bricksie have $1 million? That's just not gonna happen, right? So that's sort of stuff that you don't need to know. But like, I was thinking of a dream would be to have a Lego warehouse. I thought that'd be really cool. A big spot it's got a rolling garage door, and it's a warehouse, and big tall ceilings, and maybe a mezzanine looking down at the Lego City and stuff like that, and it would just be massive. And I was like, well, there's no way that I can do that. There's no way that the Bricksie company will be able to afford that, even in 5 years. That's really tough. That's really hard. That's hard. I never realized what you needed to do to get a commercial property. So another one that I was thinking was, well, maybe I have a storefront. But then I just got thinking to myself, a storefront, then I have to deal with me always being there. I have to deal with customers coming in. I have to deal with staff members. I have to deal with a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm already busy, and Jose and I are already busy enough operating just the YouTube channel alone. So I don't think we're going to be able to run a storefront, because we just don't have it in us. I truly think that idea, Bricksie Studios idea, as I mentioned in a previous video, would be absolutely legendary. I just don't think that we have it in us to try and maintain something like that and operate something like that. So I ruled that out as well, unfortunately. But I really wanted to do that. I'm sort of bummed out that I ruled that one out. But you never know. So even after I ruled out warehouse and I ruled out the public studio, I think to myself, well, how can I get a property that's not commercial so that we can expand the Lego City? So I started looking at old dump houses. I don't know what properties retail in your state, in your region, but cheap property here is about 250,000 Canadian dollars. So I was like, maybe we can buy a house and we can gut the whole thing, rip out the kitchen, rip out everything, obviously keep the bathroom, but rip out all the walls other than, of course, the load bearing walls, and paint the whole thing white and put new lighting in, and we can essentially create a Lego house. Maybe we can do that instead of having a public studio that's going to be too hard to operate, and a commercial property that's too expensive to operate and too expensive to buy, and I can't get qualified for. Maybe we can just buy a house and turn that into a Lego house, And even that was just like, well, then we're not going to get what we want. We're not going to get a big rectangular room. We're not going to get, there's going to be stairs and stuff like that going up and down. It'll be oddly shaped, and plus I still have to drive to work, because properties like that are on the other end of the city. Like the cheap ones like that are on the other end of the city from me. So unfortunately, I had to rule out the really cool idea of building a Lego house at an affordable rate as well. So I had to rule that out as well. So then we got thinking to myself, well, maybe there's another solution. So then of course, like, well, you just got to buy a house with a bigger basement. That's when you run out of space, you got to get a bigger space, or you got to start selling some stuff. But I don't want to sell stuff. I want to keep stuff, and I want the Bricksie company to continue to grow, and I want my Lego collection to continue to grow, because I think it's really cool, and I think it's something that my kids will maybe one day want to inherit, and maybe they'll want to inherit my business and operate this business just like I've been doing. And I just don't think that liquidating Lego is the way to do that. And I want to continue growing and continue having fun and make something that's really special and just puts a smile on my face every time I come down here. And I don't think liquidating Lego is the solution to that at all. So of course, the solution would be, well, get a bigger house with a bigger basement. And then I started telling myself, well, no matter what, if I have kids, well, whatever, that's a goal that we're going to have too. I want to have kids, and that's something I want to do, and we're going to try and pursue that dream. But if we have kids, and the reality is no matter where we move, we're going to have this Lego business that operates out of the basement. So the whole basement will be allocated to Lego. So I was thinking to myself, how am I going to free up the basement? How do we, maybe one day put an air hockey table down here for the kids, or for me, or put a dartboard down here for dad, or maybe put a pool table down here and maybe a big screen TV with the hockey game on or whatever, and have some people over. And how do we do that? How can we have that when we have the Lego room in the basement? So then it clicked. I was like, what we have to do is we have to move outside of the town. So we have to move outside of Edmonton. And actually, there are places here in Edmonton that are outside of town. They're like 30 minutes away from the Lego store, and they're massive. And they're not mansions by no means, but they have massive properties, and they have houses already on them. And they're only about double the cost of this house here, right? So what we would do, I know that's a lot of money too, but what we would do, this is just a dream that I have, is we would buy an acreage and we would build a Lego barn. That way I free up the basement. Work is still outside my back door. I can still wake up in the morning. I can go out there in my robe. No, I wouldn't do that, but I go out there and I could work. I could step out my back door and we can go to work. So eventually, I would love to buy an acreage with a huge property, not huge, but with a property that can accommodate a Lego barn or a Lego shed, and build something that's like 40 by 60 feet, and have a huge rectangular area for a Lego city. That is my goal. So we would essentially replicate what we have in this basement, but it would be in an offsite building just outside my back door, and it'd be like a giant shed. So it'd be just like this, all white, pot lights, lit up like whatever, like crazy. It'd have shelving all around the outside and have a massive Lego city in the center. And I've already started planning what that Lego city would look like and how we would make it work, and how it would be, really unique and multi-leveled, and lots of trains going around the whole thing in different zones. So rather than having the train yard underneath the Lego city and the medieval scene underneath the city, we'd have it of different zones. There'd be large rectangles all the way along, and then it'd all be connected by train, and there'd be a amusement park in one area, there'd be a city in one area, there'd be whatever the medieval scene in one area. So I've already started thinking about that, and that is my ultimate dream and my ultimate goal, is to somehow evolve this into a big offsite shed barn area. So there's my long and my short-term goals. I would love to expand the city eventually into something like that one day, but the only way we can do it is if we move out of town and we build a separate building on a acreage property. And for here, I just want to continue doing what we're doing and just sort of have fun and continue developing the Lego city, and maybe grow as a builder, and continue getting some Lego sets and displaying them here in our Lego room. But I don't think I ever want to start selling my collection. I don't think I want to do that. I want to continue to grow. And the only way to do that is to expand into a property that essentially you'll never run out of room in a 40 by 60 shed. You'll never run out of room out there. And I think that is the cheapest and just makes the most sense to expand. And I think that would be really cool. So there you go. There's some of our goals and some things that we're trying to achieve in the Lego room right now, and sort of what we want to do with this Lego room as we move forward in the next 5 or 10 years or so. It's always good to have goals, I find. Something to work toward, keeps you motivated, just keeps you, keeps you going every day. And I always have been that way. I've always set goals for myself and sort of set expectations on what I would like to achieve, and put timelines to them to try and make those things happen, to sort of expedite the process. Let us know what you think of our goals here for our Lego YouTube channel, and also the Lego collection, and just sort of what we plan on doing, I guess. Having fun, though, is the key, that's for sure. Everybody, remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff. And thank you so much for coming by. Have a great one.